You got it. All right.
Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. We got a special guest tonight. We got MC Rap from Purple Pocket Podcast. Yes, the Purple MLK himself, because he's bringing all the fans together. Let's give a round of applause for MC Rap. All right, man. Way to come on the show. Glad to have you. Say hi to the folks and tell us where they can find you.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, man. It's RAP. Know what I'm saying? Y'all can find me at Purple Pocket Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, just everywhere, man. Purple Pocket Podcast. Appreciate y'all fellas having me on tonight, though, for real. This going to be fun.
For sure. Rap is filling in tonight for Jamie, who is off on a skiing adventure in Denver, Colorado this weekend, or for the next couple of days here. So, yeah, Rap, for sure. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about tonight, boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. Are we gonna talk? Well, I'll let y'all tell me what we're gonna talk about. Actually, I'm the guest here. I'll just.
Yeah, he's a special guest. He's not filling in.
I'm the special guest.
He's the man of honor. Hey, glad to have you, Dave Thibodeau. Way to bring on Skull.
What's
got
up,
Rap in the house tonight. He's getting the Skull experience.
Yeah. So let's start with the topic of conversation this week so far. And that is,
what level of pain severity is it, Rap, to watch Ed Donatell's defense? Is it 10, unable to move, or 0, no pain?
10.
Somewhere in between.
10. What's 9 say?
9 is severe. My pain is all that I can think about. I can barely talk or move because of the pain.
All right. What's 8 say?
8 is intense. My pain is so severe that it is hard to think of anything else. Talking and listening are difficult.
I'll probably go with 8 then, honestly.
All right.
They do it. The only reason I'm gonna go with 8 is because sometimes they'll sprinkle in their little turnovers and stuff and make me feel a little better.
For sure. And that's one thing. Like for me, it was probably around an 8 as well. And then I saw the transcript on Twitter of his press conference today, and it bumped it up to a 9, maybe a borderline 10 for me. So I want to get into that a little bit here. Coming from Kevin Seifert here. So, he started off talking about, he said, eventually we'll be there. We know what we're doing and how to do it, which to me is just such a bland, like a bland start to how you want to talk about what your defense is doing. And then he goes into this. He said he wants to take some air out of the coverage. Asked why players have played off so much. He said, we just want to be tighter. That's what we're looking for. Our players are doing what they're coached to do. So, and then I believe at some point in this first week, he said he thinks it's more execution than scheme. So if you think it's an issue with execution and not what you're doing, then, and yet you want to say that your players know what they have to do, then why is this happening? Where is the disconnect here?
Yeah, and he said that this is what we were teaching too.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, when I read that section of his press conference, I just it was dumbfounding to me that I don't know. It's weird. It seems to me like there's some sort of disconnect. Like he's saying it's not scheme, it's execution, yet the players aren't executing it, but then he says they all know what to do. So I'm at a loss, guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to blame somebody else except for himself because his job on the line. He out of there, man. Like, at the end of the day, you're the coach, you need to take responsibility. Because at the end of the day, I have said before though, I don't think our personnel is the perfect situation for running the type of defense that he thinks we want to run. But, at the end of the day, man, he has to take the blame. He's the head coach, man. And this defense he's playing is horrible.
For sure. And even kind of, and that, going into his next comment he made here as well, which is more Daniil Hunter oriented. He said, I think he's getting more comfortable every week. It'll take the whole year. Standing up and playing in our new base is a little bit different to him, which I see what he's saying. But I also remember someone pointed out that at the beginning of the season, he said it's going to take him a couple of months to get to that point where he's feeling more comfortable. Now he's saying it's going to take him the entire year. And that is kind of one of the things too. And I like how you mentioned that we probably don't have the right personnel to be playing in the 3-4 right away. I think maybe what you should have done, maybe he should have came in, Kevin O'Connell should have came in as well and done like a little, maybe not a full change, because as you said, the players don't fit the scheme. We have one player that played in a 3-4 base, and that's Zadarius Smith. So, just that full on change from the 4-3 to the 3-4. I don't know. Yeah. I think that was a little bit too much to ask of some of these players at this point. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. Well, there's one thing. Kendricks played in college, but that was so long ago. Who knows if he still remembers it? But I agree with everything there, man. He's contradicting himself, and he's it's like, what is he gonna say, right? My defense sucks. I mean, he's basically going to give us platitudes saying that, hey, we just got to change a few things. It's right around the corner. We got it. And we played good for a little bit. We just need to get back to that. But yeah, to finally admit that I'm playing my guys way too far off the ball, but then to say that, hey, it's execution. I mean, that was the way you wanted him to play. So yeah, he's on a thin line, a tightrope. This guy is talking for his job basically right now.
And I remember I think you guys when you guys had Wabi on, and when we talked to him as well, he said both times that he thinks it is a little bit with the players, which I can definitely see. I think there is a little bit where it's probably both, but you see a lot of times when football teams have problems, they always start at the top of the line firing the head coach. So when a defense has the problem, then, you can blame the players. But at the end of the day, like Rap said, it's the coach's job to put them in the right situations. So, and maybe if you get rid of them now, they're not going to do it. It's hard to get rid of a coach, especially during a
Mike Petman knocking on the door.
Right. He is there. But I just don't see it happening for the reason of that we're just 10-3. It's a little bit too late. But also, if it did happen, maybe it'd light the fire under the players' asses saying like, oh, shit, we better –
anybody can get cut,
nobody's
right?
safe. Nobody's safe even in a 10-3 season. But something needs to change. And that's kind of why I'm really looking forward to this game. Now that you finally hear O'Connell and Donatel both saying like what we're doing just isn't working. Because at this point they'd kind of been, tiptoeing around it, not actually saying it's not working, just kind of saying like, oh, we need to improve here, need to improve there. But I think the fact that now they're finally admitting that things just aren't looking great. I think this week, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that we're going to see at least steps towards improvement.
Yep. I agree. I think we'll see. We got time on our side, man. Time is on our side to make some changes, and hopefully, we're playing the Indianapolis Colts with Matt Ryan. You feel me? Like, come on, man. We shouldn't. Matt Ryan shouldn't have a field day on us. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and I think the key to it should be, with that team, if you can stop Jonathan Taylor and make them one-dimensional. And Matt Ryan's he's old. He's not going to be running around. He's going to be a statue. So if you can get pressure on him, which I think is the biggest thing, and that's, I think, something that I was watching Kevin O'Connell and PA talk on their X's and O's show. And he said, obviously, the pass rush is, kind of goes hand in hand with the coverage. And I mean, that's been an issue as well. I mean, obviously, Zadarius Smith has been slowed down by that knee injury the last few weeks, so he's not getting the same amount of pressure. Obviously, Daniil Hunter still isn't, as we talked about, still isn't perfectly adjusted to that role. Maybe you need to do something different with him. Who really knows what you're going to do there? But that is the most frustrating thing, is we cannot get any pressure. And we're one of the lowest blitzing teams in the league. And we just, with just four or five rushers, we're just not getting the job done. And it's really unfortunate.
And Dave Thibodeau said get new players, but I think the only players really not suited for the 3-4 are three linemen. They're basically three run defenders. These guys are situational guys in this defense. Mm-hmm. We don't have guys that can rush the passer and our three down linemen. Neither of them are. They're all the run defenders, and it would, and that would like lead into my next slide. Is that, hey, I don't know what his health situation is. I think he's healthy. He's still available. There's articles being written about him as still being available, and the best fit being the Vikings. He played DN for us in the 4-3. He only played half the season as a starter, and we had to switch him out to DN because of injuries. He, got 3.5 sacks, but the year before he got 6 at D tackle. So this is a guy who can pressure the quarterback, and I think, if we're not going to blitz, we need the personnel that can do it. Do you see anybody out there that could help this defense, Rap, or is it just strictly, hey, it's too late? The guys we wanted already went to Philly, and and now maybe Sheldon Richardson's the only option.
I mean, I think Sheldon Richardson would be a good option, but I'd rather a cornerback, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think a cornerback's a better option. I know we just picked up that guy from the Miami's practice squad, which is the fastest cornerback in history, I think, right? At the combine.
He ran like a 4.2, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that was a good pickup. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think our defensive line really, we have the people we need with Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith. You know, I mean, we have
outside linebacker though.
The rushes. Yeah, but we just need to rush them. We just need to make sure we letting them blitz and stuff. You know, we got to use them. I just don't know, man. I wouldn't mind Richardson. I mean, he's a good player, like you said, and he's did us good. But I mean, I like Tunga. I like what Tunga's doing. I like Phillips. I just think that regardless, I don't think adding Richardson's gonna get us, you know, a bunch more sacks or anything. I just think it'd be another body there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially since this late in the season, he's probably not going to be able to get into game shape fast enough either, since he, you know, probably has been working out still, but hasn't been playing, and it's totally different thing there. I mean, and maybe, you know, I know people have talked about maybe bumping Danielle Hunter inside and having him put his hand in the dirt and bring in a different linebacker to help rush. I don't know.
I'd be all for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you just think about that, you got Patrick Jones, DJ Wanham, one on the other side. You got Delvin Tomlinson, Danielle Hunter, Harrison Phillips, and then Zadarius Smith, like that. And, you know, let Danielle put his hand in the ground and do his thing. Yeah,
for sure. I agree with that all day long. They need to put Danielle in the dirt, man. Let him put his hand in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? There'll probably be a big difference.
I've been saying that since week 1.
Yeah, for real. If they just do that, it would be a big difference.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. The defense is the most frustrating thing on this team right now. And that's, you know, me and Dave were kind of talking a little bit before we started here about the game last week and how, you know, if you look at it, like I thought our offense played, I mean, outside the running game, our passing game was pretty fantastic. I thought Kirk played a good game. JJ did what JJ does quietly. Nobody's talking about 223 yards just because we lost the game. Like, people just seem to forget that he went out and did that. Adam Thielen stepped up. Hawkinson did what he does. So, you know, that was pretty good. But, you know, so you feel really bad about that last game. And you kind of, you know, you start like Dave said, he didn't feel as bad about that loss. It's just the defense and the way they performed against that team is really what just left that, as the player said a few weeks ago, that bad taste in your mouth. And just, I don't know. The defense, it's hard. It's hard to watch, especially when, you know, we're sitting on the couch watching the game, being able to see what's wrong. And it's like, they weren't seeing it at the time. I don't know, but.
Right. Exactly, man.
I mean the defense played terrible, right? But I was talking to Casey offline rap, and I was saying, and I think I said it on our show last night, is that you remove the fumble and you remove the fake punt for a 48-yard run, and we're in that game. We could win that game if you remove 2 plays out of this thing, even with all the bad decisions and how bad the defense played. We remove 2 plays, we could win that game. So I'm not feeling as bad as I did the day of the game, right? But obviously we're not going to get anywhere in the playoffs if this defense is like this. Hey, McAndrews, thanks for showing up, man.
Nah, we'll be one and done. We'd be one and done if we play this type of defense. Like, we got to make some changes, that's for sure. Like, something definitely has to change. Like, we can't just keep going out there week after week and thinking something's just going to fix itself. Like, obviously there's a pattern now. 5 games in a row. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely
60-year record.
Yeah,
we set an all-time record last year on utility at the end of halves, and now this year we're sending a team record of 400-yard games, 5 in a row, and that's not the only 400-yard games we gave up this year. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, it could have been a lot more earlier on in the season if the teams we played didn't have so many injuries as well. So
yeah,
and I think, and I've been saying it for weeks, that I think it could. I mean, yes, it could be an issue with the players in the scheme, but also I feel like the defense hasn't looked as bad. We've been able to kind of excuse it because of star players stepping up and making big plays to save games, and I feel like that's really been what's kept this defense out of that spotlight of how bad it's been. But now that we're not getting the turnovers, we're not getting the pressure, you really start to see the issues with the defense. And I think now that's why the national media, of course, when things are going well, they won't talk about us. When things are going bad, they'll bring it up. That's for sure. And I think that's really why there's so much negativity on this team right now, is just because what we're seeing with the defense as of late, especially like those 5 games with 400 plus yards, which is absolutely.
How far did we drop down in the power rankings now? I'm sure they got.
I was surprised. ESPN only had us down to 6. ESPN hates the Vikings, so whenever they have any chance to drop them, they normally do. I haven't seen them out of the top 10 in any of them so far.
Yeah, I don't think we lost that bad, because we had just as many yards as they did, and we just had the bad mistakes. So and everybody's super high on the Lions now. So I don't think they took too. I don't think people went after us too bad, but who knows? Yeah.
I would guess Tom Grossi probably dropped us out of his top 10, but what do you do?
Hey, Kalen Barnes, cornerback. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's the guy we picked up off the practice squad for the Miami Dolphins. Okay. Yeah, he's a rookie, man. He went to Baylor, super fast, ran like a 4.2 something, like, you know what I mean? So we'll see, you know what I mean? Obviously, he didn't work out because he also went and tried out for the Panthers too, I believe. I think he was on the Panthers for a minute too. So, I mean, he hasn't worked out for one of those teams yet. So, I mean, maybe there's something there that we can – it's not nothing that's going to change anything this season, but maybe next year we'll see. He's too to add the roster.
7th-round pick by the Dolphins, was on their practice squad. 4.2 340, fastest in combine history since 2003. Darren Wolfson said the Vikings did look at him throughout the pre-draft process, so it was a guy that we looked at.
Yeah, I think they said they talked to him or visited him or something in the pre-draft. So
I mean, and as we've seen with the injuries in the cornerback room this year, you might as well get as many as you can, especially, I mean, obviously, like Rap said, it's not going to help us out much this year. He's probably a guy you're looking at for the next, a guy to develop if you can keep him around. So,
and we've had special teams injuries, so
yeah, that is true.
All day, Ed Skull, man. Skull.
What's good, Ed?
Now, Rap, thanks for sending me that picture, and I really appreciate it, and I really want to know if you really meant this.
What? Yeah, man, I do. I meant that, man.
You do mean that? Oh,
you
shucks,
made it look
man.
a little better. Dang, boy, your Photoshop game getting fire, boy. I gotta chill out.
Well, it used to do it with my finger, and now I actually pull.
Yeah, man, that's a good photo.
I appreciate it, man. I knew you had something right in there for me. I knew you had something right in there for me.
You know that. What's up, Will? We got Will.
Hey, Super Will in the house. We're gonna be pulling names, man, after this little skull session here. Now we got, we had a big discussion last night, and I'm not gonna go into details. No one needs to be arguing. Hopefully, Justin doesn't want to jump on this show. But how do you feel KOC's been doing this season? What do you think is his future with the Vikings? Now, I put an A+, but I'm not saying he had an A+. I'm just saying, like, what kind of grade would you give him on the year? What do you think his prospects are as the future of our coach? Is he a 10-year, 20-year guy like Tomlinson? What do you think of him, man?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to definitely be here for a while, at least 10, easy. He just has that charisma about him. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what's going on with the defense, we're still 10-3 on his rookie season. You know what I mean? Once he starts really getting into the flow of things and them being able to go and really scout their players and build their team how they want it, it's going to take about 3 years for that to happen. And we'll really see the team that him and Kwesi really build. You know what I mean? Because right now they just pretty much they got who they got. They got pretty much became the head coach and the GM, and there was players on the roster already that they had to work with, and they went and had their first draft, and it is what it is. But we'll see as a couple years down the road. I think he's gonna be with us for a while though, for sure. I give him an A, man, like for sure. I wouldn't argue giving him an A+ either. Being 10-3, why not? Shit.
For expectations, I mean, expectations.
Well, I just think, and a lot of people before the season, everybody last year said, if the Vikings won their 1-score games, they'd be 14-2 or whatever that record was.
Yeah.
But then you look at it, and then a lot of people are saying, like, is a new head coach coming in, is he really going to be able to take that and just flip it around? Is he really going to take a team last year that won 8 games and turn them into a playoff team? And you really noticed last year, it was those end of 2-minute situations, and it was just a coach who knew how to lead. Like, I liked Mike Zimmer. I feel like he had certain leadership qualities, but his leadership qualities were for an older brand of football. I think Kevin O'Connell came in. He realized he's got a roster full of some young guys and vets as well. I think just his style and his leadership is unquestioned top tier. I think he's doing an amazing job with that. We all have to remember he's still a young play caller. Like, he hasn't had that much opportunity to do it. So I think he's learning on the job. And, Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, they both came in and they promised a competitive rebuild. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Yeah, they're working with pieces they already had, but we're competing. We're 10-3. We're going to win the NFC North. We're going to get at least a home game. We were in contention for the number 1 seed until, last week. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of out the window now just because Philadelphia is 100% legit best football team in the NFC just with the way they're playing right now. But yeah, I think what Kevin O'Connell's been able to do with this team that only won 8 games last year is pretty fantastic. And I think all it was was just having the players buy into the system and have a coach that they felt wanted them to succeed. And if they didn't, wasn't going to do what Zimmer did and give them the cold shoulder or scowl them. It was just, going to be able to coach them up and help them. So I would give Kevin O'Connell the A just because I think that what he's got to learn in play calling, I think drops that down a little bit. But with everything else that he's doing, I think he's done a fantastic job, especially for a first-year head coach. We got to remember that as well.
Yeah. Hey, to piggyback off of what Casey's saying, I know earlier in the season you had worried about Kevin O'Connell's play calling ability, and you thought maybe he should just be the head coach and leave the play calling to his offensive coordinator because he had experience too. What do you think? Is you still a little nervous about it? I feel at times he's conservative, but I don't think he necessarily is where he should be giving up play calling duties. And I don't know if you still think that. So what are your thoughts on his play calling? Do you think he's going to be our play caller for good?
I think he will. I think he will because here, like Casey was saying, man, he still has learning and growing to do. We've seen him kind of late on making adjustments sometimes, even last game. When you continue to see that, I know it's good to try to get the run started, but once you're in the third quarter and you're seeing that you keep running into brick wall over and over against, at some point you got to just chill, man. At some point you got to chill, man. Stop trying to force it. You know what I mean? Your quarterback and your receiver are pretty much JJ's catching a 15-yard pass every single time. Why not just keep doing that? I don't get that, but it is what it is. You feel me? I think he's going to be calling plays for a long time. He's a smart dude.
It's hard. And honestly, it was tough to call plays when your center and your left guard were getting mauled.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Kirk Cousins was getting beat up because of, Ed Ingram, who had been playing a decent in the past 2 games, got mauled in this last game, and so did Schlottman on a couple of plays. But Kirk was able to get the ball off to Justin, and Justin was able to adjust his route, catch the ball. So, yeah, it's tough to call plays when you're even at the 4-yard line with Dalvin Cook. Freaking Schlottman and Ed Ingram got 8 up, and they were right on. Not to give an excuse to Dalvin Cook from fumbling, but that play was not going anywhere because they were right in his face before our tight end could even get off the line. So yeah, I would give him an A myself. I think he's got plenty of potential. He needs to work on I think the running game, and I think his screen game is right now is subpar, but I think he's smart enough, and in an off season come back. It may be too late this season, but who knows? He might be able to come out with a better game plan on the running game or the screen game.
Yeah, you mentioned that offensive line. If I had told you before the season started that week 15 you'd be begging for Garrett Bradbury to come back after missing a game, would you have believed me?
Rap, did you think you'd be begging for Bradbury to come back?
Nah. After about the 4th week, though, after about week 4, yeah, because he's been playing really good this season, and it's good. I'm happy. This is what we want. We talk smack as content creators. That's what we do. If a player's not performing well, we're gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? hey, so we hope that they prove us wrong. That's the thing. A lot of times we want to be wrong when it's a negative statement. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like we're hoping to be bad. We won a Super Bowl. We know that Garrett Bradbury plays a big part in that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad he's playing good, man. He'll be back on Saturday, right? Is he good?
I think he's been limited so far this week, but I think the hope is that keeping him limited will take care of those back spasms that he was having. So
yeah, man. I hope we get him back, man. Because we're begging for him back. Come on back, Bradbury.
Yeah, all day Ed mentions that more wide receiver jets and less screens. I think his jet, his wide receiver jet plays have been spectacular. Honestly, they've gotten us first downs. They've gotten us big plays. And all day Ed wants to get rid of both Eds. Ed wants to get rid of both Eds. I don't know. Ed Ingram's a rookie, and he has shown plenty of promise. So I don't know about that. But Bradbury, so glad to be wrong by McAndrews. So that's awesome. I'm glad too. I don't know how much he'll sign for, or what maybe a franchise tag would cost. Yeah. So I think putting a guy like a Bradbury on a franchise tag, if the market bears a $10 million or whatever the going rate for a center would, I don't know. But would I want to commit to Bradbury because we got one decent year out of him? We'll see. And then the Minnesota kid out of the Gophers, best center in college football is coming out this year. So who knows? Who knows where we'll be?
Yeah, he could be.
And y'all know Dave ain't a big fan of you know what? Never mind. I ain't gonna do this on this show. Never mind. I forgot we're on the Skull Experience.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just playing.
But yeah, so
there is some news that we talked about, via text, man. But Chris Carter came out and said that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver of all, in Vikings history.
Yes. Chris Carter lost his goddamn mind. He lost his mind. Okay. That's just what we're gonna say right there. We're just gonna leave it at, because he lost it. That's like saying, man, look here. That's like saying Jalen, what was his name? Derrick Rose, when he was like winning the MVP and shit in Chicago. It's like saying he was better than Michael Jordan. Quit playing with Randy Moss. All straight cash, homie. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I would never bow down to that statement. Never. I don't care.
But okay, would you at least put JJ in the better celebration category over Randy Moss though? At the
hell no.
Do you see the examples
celebrate better than that? You think JJ celebration better? JJ does the same celebration every single time.
I'm gonna have to go with rap. This celebration it will stand the test of time.
And you know why he did that? Do you really know why he mooned him like that? Right?
Well, I did a short.
Yeah,
did you check my short out?
No, I haven't. I need to check it out.
My short only got 70 views, but on TikTok it got 109,000 of Randy Moss talking about why he did it.
Because he was getting mooned by the Packers fans, and they'd come in on the bus.
Yeah, they said 10 white butts were sitting on the hill.
Right. Yeah, like you can't play with straight cash, homie, man. And just imagine if Randy Moss in his prime. That's another thing. You got to scale these things when you talk about stuff like this, because they played in two different eras for one. But like, just imagine if Randy Moss in his prime was playing in today's NFL where they throw the ball like we do. Like, come on, dog. Seriously.
SK brought that question up last night, and I'm like, hey, give me 5 years at least before you ask that question. It's tough to, and he was saying, what about Chris Carter? I'm like, give me 5 years, man. Yeah, with Justin Jefferson, if he comes back, if he gets 2,000 yards, or if he puts at least a 15 touchdown season up, let alone his first 10 touchdown season, I'm like, I don't think he's gotten 10 yet, right? I think he's at more than not a 7, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what he got his rookie year.
Nah, he had like 14 or something at one point.
Did he?
Right?
I gotta look that up. Touchdowns. Yeah, like in a season. All right, I'll look it up.
Look it up. I think he got like 14 or something like his second.
But it wasn't last year, I don't think.
Or his rookie year. He got double digits for sure. Probably not last year, but he definitely got double digits one of them years.
He got 10 in 2021. So 7, 10, and 6. I had the years flipped around. I thought he had 7 in his second year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Chris Carter.
Let's be honest.
Randy Moss had 17 TDs, I think, was his best with the Vikings. He had 22 with the Patriots. Give me one of those seasons, and then we'll start talking about whether he's the best Viking of all time. Because I still think Randy Moss is the GOAT of the NFL as far as receiver goes. So I would have to say that.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you definitely need to look at the body of work between the two. And like you said, Randy Moss did it over basically an entire career. So, I mean, talk to me when Justin Jefferson is retirement age, ready to be done with the league.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you can kind of start looking at it. Like, what's the whole body of work look like?
Right. And I mean, because at the rate he's going now, he's obviously going to be he could be a Hall of Famer possibly, or you can say that he's definitely going to be a Vikings Ring of Honor. But to compare him to Randy Moss, man, that's crazy. You feel me? I don't care. Randy Moss is the reason why I'm sitting in front of this camera and microphone right now. You feel me? Like, I don't care. I'm not.
Which is a great segue. We're talking about two greats in the NFL, Justin Jefferson and Randy Moss. Now, out of these two greats on the airwaves, who do you think is going to have a better career or currently doing it better? You or Stephen A. Smith?
Me. I ain't gonna lie. Me. Stephen A. Smith ain't got shit on me. Yeah, he can come holler at me about it too if he got a problem. Hey, word. I like that. Look at my hat. I thought you were gonna compare me to Kurt with the hat, yo.
That hat is gonna be in the YouTube Hall of Fame someday. Yeah. In the sports YouTuber wing of the YouTube Hall of Fame, if they have one someday, it's gonna be there.
I'll demolish Stephen A. Smith. He ain't got nothing on me.
I think you probably know sports better than him.
Nah, he pretty good. He pretty good at what he do. He pretty good. I like Stephen A. But he ain't got nothing on RAPZ, man. I'm on his tails, man. For sure. Yeah. Let's see. Only been in the league 3 years. Derek Johnson. Hey, Derek, I know you ain't agreeing that he better. You know what? We can have these conversations, but I know you ain't agreeing that he better though. It's a yes or no answer. We ain't even got to talk about how many years he been in the league.
I think and I think Chris Carter's probably talking about potential, but he's throwing potential in there. But if it ended today, he's not the greatest.
Potential, yeah, that's like saying I'm better than Justin Jefferson potentially. If I go out there, potentially I am. You never know. Now I had a couple of good games back in my day. Now. I think I could have made that catch. The catch. See the difference is this. Chris Carter said Randy Moss didn't go into motion as much and all this, and NBA people weren't shooting threes as much as they shooting threes now in the NBA when Michael Jordan was playing. I mean, the game has changed. Kind of answer is that, Chris Carter? Come on, and you played alongside of him, man. That's what really got me disappointed. Even Chris Carter playing on side of Randy Moss should just never put anybody above him. You feel me? I don't care, even if deep down inside he thinks he's better. Don't never get on air and say nothing like that, man. That's like Scottie Pippen getting on air and saying LeBron better than Jordan, man. Quit playing with that man like that. Which I think he did, didn't he?
Potentially, you are better. Yeah. You have to actually see potential, though, and we do see potential in Jefferson. We do see potential in Justin Jefferson because he's set already so many NFL and Viking records.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're breaking the great,
look, records, and this talk is not too down Justin Jefferson. We all know that Justin Jefferson is a legend, bro, already,
and we want him to be the best ever.
It's just come on, when you comparing him to Moss, no straight cash, homie, like get the fuck. We not gonna do. That's what we not gonna do. You feel me? That's what we not gonna do. You could compare him to anybody else, but we not gonna bring straight cash homie into the equation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, especially when it's not like Randy Moss is just like one of the greatest receivers in Vikings history. He's like one of the greatest receivers in history.
Telling you, man. 84. I mean, come on, dog. Like he's up Michael Jordan. Like serious. Like he is the Vikings Michael Jordan. Come on, man.
McAndrews just dissed Adrian Peterson. Says Super Will wouldn't fumble as much.
Damn. AP did have a little bit of fumble problem, but
there was a couple years there.
He made up for it though with his yards and how strong he ran though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
the only time it really hurt us
was
at the goal line against the Saints, man. That one hurt.
Yep. 09 was the bad year for fumbling, and unfortunately
I got a little bit of news, guys. We're giving away the bobblehead. Why don't you put up
give away that jersey? I thought you was gonna draw for that
January
jersey.
3rd, man. But January 3rd.
You want your slides up, Dave?
Yeah, just put them up, and then we'll just do that.
What we
Friends of
doing?
the channel, Purple and Gold for Days, Purple Pocket Podcast. Who we got rap on right now? GG Sports Podcast and Purple Code. Go subscribe to their channels, and subscribe, like, and comment on our channel. And this, and that will get you entered in our contest, which I'm giving away a bobblehead today. The next drawing, I don't throw any of the entries in, will be on January 3rd. We'll be giving that Chuck Foreman jersey, which is right behind me. It's autographed by Chuck Foreman.
Mine.
And Purple Pocket Podcast is ineligible because there's a foul on the play. No, he's eligible. But click the next slide. Yeah, so we also have Fanatics. I have links in the description usually where you can copy and paste. And if you buy anything on Fanatics using those links, you're supporting the channel. And finally, Chuck Foreman, 44.com. There's the bobblehead. There's the jersey. And he's going to come back on one of my shows in the next couple of weeks. Chuck Foreman, 44.com. You Skull 15 at checkout, and you'll get 15% off. Now, time for the bobblehead. And I hope, well, if you win the bobblehead, you can still win the jersey, by the way. I'm not throwing away your name.
So I can win. I mean, to be real, I don't want that damn bobblehead, but if I get it, it's cool.
Oh, give it to me then. I'll want it. Give it to me.
The damn jersey.
All right. Okay.
Hey, McAndrews, man, I love your new. I love your new profile pic, McAndrews. That's fire.
Since you're in the contest, Purple Pocket Podcast, I'm gonna have Casey tell me to stop.
All right.
Stop. There you go.
All right. It's rigged. It's rigged, guys. It's
a little
rigged.
short. I don't know if it's.
Let me stop.
Oh, sweet. It's Nikki Covington.
Wow. Okay.
Nikki Covington. Yeah.
Okay.
She comments more than anybody with the more words than anybody. Nikki Covington is
book in a minute. She writes you a book in a minute, boy.
Nikki Covington is the winner of the Spin Doctor bobblehead. Sweet. All right. And Casey, take it away, man. Let's talk about the Colts.
Let's talk about the Colts. So, a game the Minnesota Vikings should win. A game they will win. A game that we will clinch the division in. Finally get that out of the way. Which
T-shirt.
Okay, I know we want to talk about the Colts, but I want to side tangent here a little bit. Did you guys happen to see Mike Florio's article about the hat and T-shirt game? Did you guys see that?
Oh, is that what this game's supposed to be?
No, but I'll do a show about it if it sucked.
So it was terrible. So basically what he said, because Mike Florio, he's a Vikings fan, of course. He's just bitter because he's been through it all. Basically what he said is that the Vikings are too excited about this being a hat and T-shirt game. He said, you don't see any of the other teams in Super Bowl contention talking about winning their division. That's all they care about. He said, this team is already lost because all they want to do is win the division. And at that point, they're happy with it. It is basically what he had said. And it was just.
That boy hate being a Vikings fan, isn't it?
He does. It's ridiculous.
It's an example of recency bias or him only seeing the Vikings. Because if he's watching other people's media, you gotta know they're talking about winning the division. I mean, the national media is talking about how we were going to do it for the fastest in the history of the game.
Well, and the Eagles damn near won, I think, right? Or no, they locked the playoffs. They didn't win the division.
Because Dallas is kind of on their heels. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just that's the basis of what the article was, and it was absolutely ridiculous. So
he's a joke.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That man hate being a Vikings fan. Like, why are you a Vikings fan, man? Just go be a fucking Packers fan, bro.
Right, for sure. Yeah, we don't want your negativity here, Mr. Florio. We don't.
Talking about you done been through it all. That's why, like, this year when I started podcasting too, was like, we have been through a lot, but we got to also realize, man, things can change, man. And I felt like this year, right, where like after we started realizing what Kevin O'Connell was doing, and it just felt like a shift happened. Like it really did. It just felt like a shift really happened on our team, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It's in a good way. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and the spotlight is on us because, Mr. Florio being that Vikings fan. So I think that's why I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that was ridiculous. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit here because I saw Purple for the Win did a video on it, and I'm just like, that's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, man, that dude's a clown.
Negativity away. But yeah, this Colts game, I want to be really positive about it. I got a little surprised when I get to score predictions. It's something that I haven't done many times this season.
Oh, I know what it'd be.
You might not know what it's going to be. I'm not saying we're going to lose. Obviously, I'm saying we're definitely going to be winning this one. But yeah, I mean, there's talent on their team, of course. They got Jonathan Taylor. They got, I mean, obviously Matt Ryan. He's a former MVP, played in the Super Bowl. Like, he knows what he's doing, but the skill set isn't what it used to be, obviously, with the advanced age. Michael Pittman's looking to be a very solid receiver in this league. Outside of that, there's not a ton on their offense. They got some pieces. Defensively, they got former Viking Yannick Ngakoue. Stephon Gilmore back there at cornerback. So there's talent on this team, but it's a team being led by Jeff Saturday. So we should win. We should win this game handily, I'll say.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, we should, but and I do have us winning too, because man, it's hard for me to pick my team to lose. I don't give a damn if we was 1-16, man. Like, I think we winning every week. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's just the Viking fan in me. You know what I'm saying? But still, yet be trying to be realistic. I think I got us winning this game, but I can tell you what, it's a good chance we're gonna lose this game. I'm gonna tell you right now. And why? Because last game was definitely a confidence killer to me, man. I just felt like, and not on the offensive side of the ball, like Kirk and the rest of the offense, I feel like they'll come out firing. But I think this defense, this shit ain't getting fixed in those 3-4 days, man. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it don't. And I think if they control that clock and run that ball, look how they played the Eagles. If they smart enough, man, and they sit there and run that ball, dog, with Jonathan Taylor and then do some play action with Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan still can play quarterback against a defense like the Minnesota Vikings. And it's going to be one of those aggravating ass games where we just like, it's like just 3rd and 8, or it's going to be like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1 all the time, because their run game is going to be so good and they're going to control time of possession. It's going to piss us off.
And doesn't their defense have some sort of a stat like where they haven't given up a 200-yard?
Their defense is decent. Yeah,
their last like 5 weeks or something like that, or since week 4. I was some sort of stat I heard in passing somewhere that their defense has been actually pretty solid this year.
Exactly. Like, and they have a team set up to beat like powerhouses, even though they're not a powerhouse. Like, that's why they played the Eagles so good. Like, you know what I mean? Their team is built pretty well as far as like being able to control the clock. And then they got Matt Ryan that as long as he gets time, he'll be all right. And what do? We give quarterbacks all the time in the fucking world. You know what I mean? However much time you want, Matt.
3-yard halo.
Yeah, however much time you want, Matt. You let us know how much time you need, all right?
But I guess they have given up, I believe, 31 sacks this year as well. So there is get after potential. I mean, I know they have some studs along the offensive line, but this year they haven't been as good as in years past.
Right.
So, and that's really going to be the key. And like you said, Jonathan Taylor set up play action. That's why I think the key to this game is stopping the run game, which we've been pretty good at. I think we're allowing like under 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So that's really the key to this game is stop the run game, make them one-dimensional, do something with the pass rush, get pressure on Matt Ryan, make him make some mistakes, maybe take a couple sacks. That's really good. I think that's going to be the key to this game. And that's where you're going to see that hopefully little bit, at least defensive adjustments. Like you said, you're not going to improve the defense in 1 week, 4 days, whatever, but you hope to see the little bit, at least the adjustments that are going to be made on that defense from Donatello, O'Connell, whoever it may be. But that's the key. That's the key to winning this football game.
And actually, our run defense hasn't been that bad. I know people really hard on the Lions game because we gave up 130 yards, but 48 of it came from a fake punt.
Yeah.
We would have held these guys to under 90 yards rushing.
And that's 2 good running backs.
And they were known for their rushing. So.
Yeah, man. Hey, this should be the game where we win. Like, I know, and we always say this, man, but this should be the game for sure where we just win. You feel me? Like, we win. I don't want to hear none of this.
How many times have we said that?
Comeback shit. I don't want to see none of that, man. I don't want to.
How many times have we said that this year, man?
Stomp on something. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, I just want to just stomp on them. You know what I mean? Like, just and those games, believe it or not, are kind of boring though. Like, we ask for those games, but games are boring when we're up like 21 in like the 3rd quarter, because then we just hand off over and over again.
I'll take a boring game, man.
But I mean, I'll take one after what we've been through this season or right now. You know what I mean? Like, I would take one. Like, just give us one, man, on a good old Saturday. Let's just get it done.
Vikings football has been nothing short of entertaining, though. That's one thing. That's one thing you do got to give the team. It's made for quality television for not just Vikings fans, but the NFL in general. So, especially, I mean, obviously that Bills game, we were part of game of the year. So it's like every game makes your, if you're a football fan, you love it. If you're a Vikings fan, you say you hate it, but you secretly love it mainly because we're winning. So, yeah, and this is really the key. Like, what makes it worse? All pass catchers are wide open. Hardly we contest. And that is true. So, and that was part of Donatel's comments today, is that he said, we're playing too soft. So hopefully, it's an easy fix, Ed. Don't play so soft. Like, that's all it's going to take. Easy fix. Get a little bit of pressure on the passer. Like, it's not rocket science here, right? I mean, like I said, none of us are coaches, but we can all sit on the couch and
you ain't even got to be no coach to figure this out, man. That's what makes it even worse, though. You feel me? Like, that's what makes it worse, is that us as fans and things like that and content creators, like, we can figure this out. So how in the hell can't he figure it out? And then he, like, shout out Crown. He delusional as hell to get on the press conference today and say what he said too. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what makes it where that's the scary part. That's the frustrating part about Saturday, because I'm telling you, nothing is going to change. And for one, you can't fix something like that in 3 days anyway, 4 days, whatever the break was, Sunday. So what, 6 days? You're not fixing that like that anyway in those 6 days, man. You know what I mean? But we still have time, though, because there's still 4 weeks left, right? 4 or 5 weeks left.
4.
So, I mean, time's still on our side. We just need to get to it this week. I don't see it happening this week, but maybe the following week, maybe it'll get put together and we can start not allowing quarterbacks to throw for 300 fucking yards every game. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that press conference really was Donatel not taking any responsibility for what's going on. So, and that's why I agree with Crown's comment here.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. But I mean, that's the thing. And
you got to go to the processes. We got to go to the processes. I don't know how many times he said that.
Right. Yeah. I feel like he's one of those guys that he says a lot, and at the end of it, you're like, what did he say?
He says a lot to say absolutely nothing.
Exactly. He talks in circles, and it's all just like at the end, we'll figure it out though. We'll get there. It's like, well, hurry. There's not a lot of time left. I mean, man. You're gonna get a semi-difficult matchup in the first round of the playoffs, and then if you make it past the first round, you're probably gonna get San Francisco or some team like that. I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked about it for weeks now. It's all defense. You got to make the changes there. The offense, I think at least we're not seeing those like end of first quarter to beginning of fourth quarter lulls now. It's mainly just the third quarter at this point. But hey, we scored some points in the third quarter of this last game, which was finally nice to see. And all year long, people have been saying that, like, the offense will come around. Who knows about the defense? And that's showing right now. The offense is doing what the offense does with all the talent it has, and the defense has just been stagnant. And now, and like, as we talked about, earlier on in this stream here, now with the fact that the star players aren't making those game-changing plays, like interceptions, Zadarius Smith getting to the quarterback, jumping a route, since we're not seeing as much of that in these last couple of games, it's really starting to show the problems.
Right.
And the thing about Zimmer, he was able to manufacture sacks last year. We were second in the league, but we still gave up a lot of yards and a lot of points. But we were second in the league in sacks, even though with I think the highest sack leader was 7. And we had the second most sacks in the league. So I mean, we had a guy that knew how to manufacture sacks. I mean, you'd think Donatel, we were doing it, but now we're not. And I think the whole defense is predicated on getting pressure on the quarterback, so the corners and the safeties do not have to cover as long as they've had to do. And we were going up against a statue in Jared Goff. We're going up against another statue in Matt Ryan. So let's do it. Let's just get after the quarterback and throw our chips on the table. Stop saving it. Stop saving it. And Rap talks all the time about confidence.
Yep. Dave talked about, I'm glad y'all are so positive today.
But like, here's the thing. Like, you're going to win the division, right? Like, there's no chance you don't. The Lions might win out, but the Vikings aren't going to lose out. They'll find a way to win at least one more game. So you're going to get the division. Second seed will be nice. But so, yeah, like Dave said, why not try something? Like, and if it doesn't work out, at least you can say you tried it, right? Like, why not try sending more pressure? Why not try playing a little tighter? And I think, Crown mentioned it in his last comment there. It's like takes energy out of the pass rush because they know that. It's like these guys can't rush the passer. They won't cover. So we just do these little short underneath routes when we're not running the football. And that's you nickel and dime them down the field till you get your big shot because it's going to happen eventually. We've seen it. We saw it happen twice last week. So, and that's, so that's really what it all comes down to is just make the adjustments, try something you haven't tried yet, because what do you have to lose? You're going to win the division. So it's,
and I actually heard Rapp's father, Mackey Sr., say that, one of the things that happens is, I actually was on a show. It wasn't necessarily him, but one of the things that's happens when you do blitz or you show blitz is the quarterback's thinking, does my receiver know the hot route? Does he know that we're going to slide over here? All this shit's happen in his brain. And if they do bring pressure, now he's got to get rid of it quicker. Just mistakes happen. The good things could happen when Tom Brady and Peyton Manning made a living off of it, but other quarterbacks and Matt Ryan and maybe in his heyday, but mistakes happen, especially if you got a young guy or a rookie on the line or something. So just, disguise pressures, come at, bring heat, just do something. I want to poke a stick at our defense, do something. And I think, it sounds like we're going to do it, right? Because everybody's talking about it. The coaches are talking about, they're admitting to their faults. You give Donatell, he did say, we need to do this and we're not doing it. So that's the first time I've actually heard him say that. So hopefully he's said, hey, my job's, I'm screwed. I just need to turn this around immediately. And hopefully he does it against this game, a game we're fully capable of winning. And we're getting up to the hour. We want to talk about, hey guys, give us your score predictions in the chat. Where do you think it's going to be? And Casey, what's your score prediction for this game? Can I guess something? Can I guess? Is it 2 scores?
It is 2 scores. It's
27
to 17 is my score prediction for this game. I think we're going to see, like Rap said, you cannot perfectly fix the defense, but I think we're going to see the minor adjust. At least you're going to see strides towards trying to prove it. I think the offense is going to do what the offense does and put up points. So 27-17, I think is a fair score. A double-digit win. I said I would never do it again after I did it one other time, but I'm going right back to the well. I'm going back to the well again. 27-17.
Yeah, I got 24-21 Vikings.
And you want to plug your
Greg the leg, man. Last second. Greg the leg.
You want to plug your score prediction game you got going on?
Oh, yeah. Purple Lottery, man, on the community tab. Y'all make sure y'all go drop your score predictions. Bandito Super Will is posted earlier today, so make sure you go drop your predictions to win the $55. What is it up to? Yeah, $55.
31-23 Super Will. Bandito 27-17. Skull Mafia 27-17.
27-17 is a popular score. I agree.
So
I think it's a good
last week I went 31-17. I didn't want to say the same score, even though I wanted to, but I'll go 31-20. So no one take that on Rap score prediction game. So I want to win all the money. I don't.
You want to win it all by yourself. He don't want to
win it all by myself, man.
He don't want to split it with nobody. He want that shit all to himself.
I want all by myself, man.
Well, any other thoughts before we close out here? All Dad, what's he got? 26-20 in overtime. Okay. A little overtime action on a Saturday afternoon. I like it.
Yeah.
It'll be a Saturday. Have a couple beers flowing by that time already. So
yeah, for sure, man. One more thought, man. Fuck the Colts. No, am I allowed to curse on Skull Experience?
Yeah, go. Yeah, who cares? Go ahead.
At the 54-minute mark, yes.
That's my last thought, man. Fuck the Colts.
Colts
and Matt Ryan and everything he stand for. We better damn win this game.
27-20, man. 27-20 McAndrews.
We better I said this. We better get at least 2 interceptions. At least 2 interceptions, bro.
We haven't had turnovers lately, man.
In a minute. We need to get 2. If not, we can substitute interception for fumbles. However you want to break it down. Either 2 strip fumbles or 2 fumbles, regardless, or 2 interceptions. We need 2 turnovers.
Get a couple turnovers. I agree. Yep,
big ones
for sure. But all right, hey Rap, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thank y'all for having me on, man. I thought me and Dave were gonna argue more, but you kept us in check, Casey, man. Maybe we need to add you to.
That's what a decent moderator does, unlike you, Rap.
Hey,
he keeps it going. He doesn't antagonize. He treats the guests with
like
respect.
me.
He treats the guests with respect.
I was chilling last night, I flipped your guys' stream on. And the first thing I heard was Kirk Cousins. I'm like, all right, I'm going to step away from this one. I'm going to go grab a drink and I'll let you guys do their thing.
Oh yeah, it got crazy last night. That
was probably the worst one we've ever done.
No, it wasn't. You call it the worst one. I call it the best one. but yeah, man, we enjoy everybody though, man. I appreciate y'all fellas, man. I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thank you, everybody who watched. Thanks for joining. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week. Jamie should be back. So, yeah. All right.
Skol Vikes,
everybody. Skol Vikes.